Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Professor Dr. Rizwan Jamil Qureshi, and I'm covering System Analysis and Design course. In the previous lecture, we talked about class diagram, and previous to previous lecture, we covered about the use case diagram. So I am basically covering UML diagram. Use case diagram and class diagram are called static diagrams, where we have dynamic diagrams as well. We call it static modeling and dynamic modeling. So sequence diagram and collaboration diagram, these are called dynamic modeling. And we also have collaboration. Collaboration in the UML2 is called communication diagram, but I'm not covering that. I'm covering the sequence diagram only. Sequence diagram shows interactions between or among the objects during a specific period of time, certain period of time. So there is generic form, there is instance form. Generic shows all possible sequence of interactions, and instance shows only for one scenario. So for example, we have objects, class, and there is object of the class to the methods and the messages. They are communicating with each other. For example, object name, class, object name, class. So there are ways to write this. A name with colon after it represents an object. A colon with a name after it represents a class, or a name followed by a colon and another name represents an object in a class. So name of message followed by the empty parenthesis like message name, and then we can pass the parameters, parameter 1, parameter 2. The message may be a stereotype such as create. So the main elements of sequence diagram, we have objects, lifeline, and messages, and their activation. Objects represented by box at the top of the diagram. Lifeline, the time during which an object executes or it exists, its survival is there. And message, the means by which objects communicate to each other. And activation, the time period during which an object performs an operation. How many type of messages we pass in the sequence diagram? There are three type of messages. Simple message, a message that transfers the control from the one object to another. So calling object to receiving object, sender and the receiver is there. For example, in the race, there are two or three athletes are running. So one athlete finish his line and pass the stick to the next guy. That means he is passing the control to that guy to run in the race. His job is done. For example, masalan, like in the ATM system or in the Amazon or any e-commerce website or any logon application, after validating the card, validating the PIN, the object, validate object, the card validation, PIN authentication, the control is passed to the transaction window. And e-commerce application like Amazon, eBay, or any logon application, once you log on, the log object pass the control to the next window. That could be a transaction window or the main menu is there. Second type of message is called synchronous message. Synchronous message means the caller and receiver are synchronized with each other. So caller has to wait for the receiving object to perform its job and pass the data to the calling object. For example, Bustler, like student want to register a course. So registration object needs data from the student object that student has passed the prerequisites or not, has cleared the prerequisites or not. So the student object data will be passed to the registration object to make sure that student has passed the or cleared the prerequisites, then he can register in the next course. Similarly, in the registration window, what are the courses or what will be the courses offered in the next semester? It needs data from the course object that what are the courses offered in the next semester. From the data of the course object, then the registration object can display the list of courses which will be offered or that will be offered in the next semester. There are two examples I covered. Asynchronous message. Asynchronous message means the caller, the Kali object does not wait for the receiving object to perform its operation. It performs its operation and the receiving objects will perform their operation. Mostly, asynchronous messages are used in parallel systems like plant control systems, industrial projects, industrial plants, or space shuttle projects, flight control systems. But the most of the commercial applications they use synchronous and the simple messages. The main difference between message display, they are displayed by arrows, but the main difference between synchronous message arrow and the asynchronous message arrow or asynchronous message arrow, the solid arrow represents synchronous call, whereas open head represents asynchronous or asynchronous message, and dash line represents the reply messages. There is an example of registration system. Open, the after log on, the log object will pass the control to registration window by a simple message. It's open. Then registration entry is there. Student will enter his ID, name, and so on. And then the course offering object. What are the courses offered? And this will needs data from the course object. And then in order to register a student, you need student data also, which is not displayed here. It is just checking the registration in a course is full or not full. So you can have different conditions. Check if open, true, exists prerequisite, then student pass the prerequisite. The student object data is also dealt in this diagram using the course object. And then increment class size if class is not full. If it is full, open another section or thank you very much, wait for the next semester and registration confirmed. Registration entry, this is the generic sequence diagram for the prerequisite courses not completed. Registration entry and the student check prerequisite is equal to false, check waiver, prerequisite not taken, prerequisites not waived, cannot be waived. Check waiver is equal to false, check exam, prerequisite not waived, prerequisite not tested out. And thank you very much. You cannot, you can register for a zero semester or you can register in another section. So open application entry window and application, then into this is another example sequence diagram for how the Hosier Burger case study, which is discussed in the Modern System Analysis and Design Jeffrey Hoffer book, Hosier Burger's higher employee use case and the sequence diagram. So the candidates will apply through the application window, and then application review window, it will be reviewed, and interview will be arranged, prepare summary, decisions, and so on. And here's the manager, actor. You can represent actor as well. Another example of ATM system from the customer point of view and from the cash dispenser or cash handler actor. So the instance based, this is customer, and then there will be another instance, the cash handler. So ATM object as in system and transaction object. Insert card, insert pin, validate card, validate pin, request cash, and then transaction. So there are synchronous message and then eject card. This is the ATM operator, cash handler. ATM switch on, enter cash, switch off, start message, start method, set cash, shut down. Thank you very much. Jazakallah khair. May Allah bless you. Assalamu alaikum. This is the end of this lecture.